A lot of people are asking the important question, is it a good idea to mod a guitar? And I'm going to tell you from experience if it is or not. This is my $89 guitar that I've sunk roughly $600 into in upgrades. It basically went from a piece of junk to a guitar that I've been playing on stage for a while now. It's almost like it's my signature sound at this point. Yeah, no, this guitar is really cool, and I'm going to tell you whether or not I would do this again. So I actually got this guitar for the purpose of modding it. I was thinking I really want a Telecaster, and I want it to look like a metal guitar. I wanted to start a mod project because I wanted to increase my relationship with the instrument, move things a little bit further. And I definitely think it really helped teach me a lot about the guitar, and it really changed my connection with the instrument and with guitar in general. So what I did to start off was something simple, which anybody can do for just a couple bucks. I painted the pickguard. It was like this turtle shell red at first. Did not vibe with that at all. So I just painted it satin black. As you can see, it's kind of coming off a little bit because of my aggressive picking hand, but I think that just kind of adds to it. It looks kind of cool. I don't know if I'm going to fix it or leave it. But then I started to get a little more crazy. I swapped out the bridge for a hip shot bridge. I did locking tuners. I did Fishman Fluence modern pickups. These brackets were installed by a professional here. These weren't there before. It's got a push-pull switch for single coil mode, and it's got two different voicings, so both of them push-pull like this. I got two voices of single coil, and I got two voices of humbuckers with a three-way switch. I also put on these fret inlays by a company called Fret Look. They sent them over to me. I think it looks really cool. I do have more plans for this guitar and just making it absolutely crazy. Basically, what I'm learning through this process is this guitar is not going to be a Harley Benton TE20 by the time I'm done with it. It's going to have a completely different neck pretty soon, which is going to completely change the instrument. Was it worth it? If you asked me when I was doing this project if it was worth it, I would say, oh yeah, definitely it's worth it. When you factor in how much money was spent on this guitar, you kind of have to think about it in a different light. The reason why is because my thought process was, I want this thing to just have a couple things. I want it to have a nice bridge, nice pickups, right? Locking tuners, I kind of just wanted because the tuners were bad in this guitar. Say you get a Telecaster with Fishmans and a nicer bridge. Usually you're going to have to pay a lot of money. There's a company called Solar that makes these really cool modern looking Telecasters with an Evertune bridge and Fishman Fluence modern pickups as well, and they look sick. For about $1,100, I believe, $1,000, $1,100, somewhere in that range, which is a good deal in my opinion. You're gonna end up with a better product than what I did. Now, I didn't spend $1,100, but I'm thinking I really want a new neck on this thing because I don't really love the neck. So if I just had a guitar with a good neck, Fishman Fluence pickups, a hip shot bridge, or an Evertune, whatever, that's even better. And then you throw in locking tuners and a really sick looking metal guitar. I probably would have saved money if I just went, and a lot of time if I just went and bought that guitar. But there's a lot more to it than just that, because what you're doing with the guitar is you're not only giving it a unique character, but you're giving it like pretty cost effective upgrades for the money. You have to take a couple things into account. So you're not going to be able to resell this guitar for even close to what you put into it. No, I actually went to Guitar Center and they gave me like an appraisal on it. It's a pretty funny video. If you want to check it out, it's up here. I wouldn't necessarily factor in those upgrades into the cost of the guitar. So if you're looking for like getting an investment back for the guitar, that's definitely not going to happen. Here's what I think. It's really fun to do. You can pick every single little detail of the guitar that you want. So you're basically spending the money on getting every single detail you want in the guitar personalized for you. And you're learning along the way about, the electronics of the guitar. You're learning about what's compatible and what's not. Before I started this sounds so stupid, but I actually got this guitar specifically to mod it as well. But I really, really wanted these pickups. I wanted these David Gilmour signature EMGs. But I originally bought them for that Telecaster. For some reason, I didn't think about the size of the pickups, if they would be compatible or not. I just bought them. Seems stupid, but like now that I've modded a couple guitars, I know now, like, you gotta think of that stuff. But I didn't, so I wasted money, and then I bought another guitar that I didn't necessarily want or need, which I like that guitar now, and I'm glad I have it, but I 100% wouldn't have it if it weren't for that stupid mistake. You really gotta do your research. You gotta know your stuff. But should you do it? I don't know. I don't know that I'd recommend it to everybody. If you find a lot of enjoyment in it and you really want to mod your guitar, make it a really cool statement piece, you're going to play it on stage and it's just going to be a really sick thing, then yes, I would recommend you mod it. That's what it has been for me. I kind of thought it would be a really cool thing to have this guitar that nobody can get, you know? But if you're not going to do something like that, or you don't really care to learn, if you're doing it like, maybe I can save some money by doing this, I don't think you really can, to be honest, because there are certain limitations that cheaper guitars have. For example, that guitar is like so overhauled in the electronics department that I feel like the quality of the wood and the neck and the frets and everything are really, really holding back that guitar from feeling like an expensive instrument. It still feels like a cheap piece of crap sometimes. It sounds so good, but it doesn't feel great. So that's why I want to upgrade the neck, which I've kind of priced out the perfect neck for me, which I don't know if I'm going to get the perfect neck, but it's going to be over $400. It's going to be probably $450, $500 for just the neck. And after that, I'm definitely going to want a setup and everything, so it's all good, you know. And there's no telling what complications arise after that, you know. I hope there's no issues with the guitar, like what if it doesn't intonate properly, you know. I have trouble keeping it in tune. I don't know, what if the locking tuners don't fit on it right, you know, and I have to modify the holes or whatever. I don't know. I'm just thinking like that's going to be a big project for me. I just don't know if it's necessarily financially worth it. Now, I do make videos on guitars, so it's like, you know, regardless, I'm going to have good content for it. And that's why I started this whole thing in the first place, partly. It's kind of just a fun thing for you to enjoy and for me to be put through. Would I do it again? I think so. I think I would, honestly. I would do it differently. I'll give you a quick rundown of a little bit things I would do differently with this guitar. The Fishman Fluence pickups I really, really like. They're probably my favorite sounding pickups I've ever used. But I also have a really nice set of active EMGs as well on one of my other guitars, and I honestly can't tell too much of a difference. I've watched a lot of side-by-side videos and stuff, and I was like, man, these Fishmans sound insane. I also really like how they look. They're really cool. I like the cool line, the design on the pickups, that like S-type line that they have on there. I think that looks sick. The price difference is pretty immense, so I don't think I will be buying those pickups again, even though they're my favorites. And that's the main expense, is the pickups. I would do that. And also, I would not do a passive to active swap, meaning those pickups require a battery on the Harley Benton. The pickups before did not require a battery, meaning they're passive pickups. It's a lot more expensive to, because think about it, like if it was just a passive to passive pickup swap, you know, same style pickups, I would probably be able to do it by myself pretty easily with no issues. The Fishman install was pretty daunting for me when I was looking into it, so I was like, there's no way I'm going to do this by myself. I want a professional to do it. I spent a lot of money on this. I don't want to screw it up and then have to pay for it again. I would definitely think about the types of pickups that you're looking at. Obviously single coil to humbucker, which we talked about earlier, but whether or not they're passive or active. Those EMGs also on that Stratocaster I showed you, those are active as well. It costs a lot more to put actives in. If you're not going to do it yourself, they have to find a place to put the battery and stuff. Oftentimes, which in the case of both of my guitars, it's behind the pick guard. It's going to be kind of difficult to get to if I need to swap the batteries quickly. So that's one thing I'm worried about if I have to do it before a show or something like that. It shouldn't take too long, but it is a factor. If your guitar has passive pickups in it and you want to mod the guitar, just just go with passive pickups. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Have you modded guitars? Do you think it's worth it? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for all things music, guitar, gear, stuff like that. And yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking with me for this video. Please hit the subscribe button and check out another video.